Deer season is closed in Missouri and in a majority of the states throughout the whitetails range, but that doesn't mean we just switch totally to football or forget about deer. I often kind of tease that back in the day when, some famous boxer, whoever you really like, was really good. Well, if they had had a diet of shredded wheats for 3 months, think about the spring green-up period. If all they ate was shredded wheats, no milk, no protein, just shredded wheats, basically straw, then I'd get in the ring with them. Heck, I could outrun them if nothing else. It takes quality food for all bodies, deer, humans, whatever, to perform well. And you want to make sure that you just don't go home after deer season, but you're monitoring the deer herd. And now is a great time to be out in the timber working. Maybe you're doing some hack and squirt right now, or some girdle with some herbicide. Maybe you're doing a prescribed fire that can make your hunting much better this coming season. It's also a time to reflect and say, well, how many deer did I see, or were they within range? Maybe you need to be working on creating some bottlenecks. We talk a lot about pinch points or bottlenecks. Maybe you need to work on moving some of your stands or blinds to get in a better shape. Well, I kept seeing deer across that power line down to about 300 yards. Well, goodness, do something about it. If it's on property you have permission to hunt, go ahead and move your stands now. Trim some lanes, do some stuff. Right now is a great time to kick off the 2023 season. Late summer and late winter tend to be the two stress periods in a deer's life throughout much of their home range. Of course, late winter, it could be snow covered or pretty gray. There's not a lot growing this time of year, and it's tough for deer to meet their nutritional requirements. This is especially true for those folks that didn't meet their doe harvest objective. And I'm always amazed that still yet, if we publish a doe being harvested, or we're processing some venison from a doe, we get a bunch of hate mail about, can't believe you killed a doe, I can't believe you harvested a doe. Well, harvesting does are the way you control the population level of white-tailed deer. They are the reproductive units. They're the ones that make more fawns or more deer. So doe harvest is a critical part of any management program, whether that's at a state agency or on a federal wildlife refuge, or you as a landowner. One thing you can do right now is leave those trail cameras up. We've got our Moultrie still out there working, and that helps us see deer on a daily basis, and you can tell pretty quickly, are your does, kind of rotund or filled out, they look good, they look full, or you seeing their ribs and their hip bones. If you're seeing their ribs and hip bones, and we got a couple more months of winter, it could be pretty warm like it is today, or it could get wicked cold, nice and snowy. And the lower a deer's body condition gets, well, of course, if they survive, the more they have to recover before they hit where they took off last year. So if you've got a buck and it lose 20, 30% of its body weight during the rut, and then there's no groceries, and you stay in that malnourished state all the way to spring green-up, it's going to take you the first part or a good part of spring green-up just to get back to the health you were at before the late winter. That serious decline in health and the extended recovery period is going to greatly reduce the antler growth potential for that next year or the number of fawns that survive. A big thing about antler growth that gets overlooked almost all the time is that antler potential. It really starts when that buck was a fetus. It was inside the doe. And if she's malnourished, therefore the fetus isn't getting the nutrition it needs, it's going to really struggle to catch up and express its full potential throughout its life. In humans, we talk about, natal nutrition, prenatal nutrition, how critical it is for moms to consume a healthy diet, a proper diet, while that baby is still on board, so to speak. And that's critical. So in South Texas, they know if they have a really good rainfall spring, then there's just a bunch of rainfall, and those does are eating good, and then they can produce a lot of milk. 5 years later, even though there may be some droughts in between, they probably have a lot of record book quality bucks because that buck fawn got off to such a great start in life. Now, South Texas can be a really boom or bust cycle, and it's really obvious there. But the same is true at some level throughout the whitetails range. And if fawns don't get off to a good start, they're not going to express their full potential, either antler growth or reproductive potential, throughout their life. And that's why right now, throughout much of the whitetails range is a critical time. And you probably can't do much right now, but you can be making choices if you hunt on private land. Maybe you're in a lease, or you own the land, or it's your grandma's land or something. My deer look skinny. You may need to harvest more does next year than you did this year. Or you could come at it from the other way. I need to add more food. I need to increase the acres of food plots, or maybe increase the quality of my food plots. I've only been planting fall blends to attract deer. Maybe I need to plant summer blends to feed deer throughout that growing season. Maybe I need to improve my planting techniques. I've been broadcasting and not getting that good of a stand. Maybe I need to rent or purchase a no-till drill so I can produce more tons of quality forage per acre. Maybe you need to address the native forage on your property. You know, most properties, the vast majority is not food plots unless you're in Iowa or an ag state. You may need to do some prescribed fire or some hack and squirt and open up that canopy, because I really stress a lot. Deer make a living about 0 to 3 feet off the ground. So if you're in a closed canopy forest, pines, hardwood, whatever, and all the sun's energy is getting trapped up there way above the ground, you may make some acorns. That's a short window of food, but the rest of the year, deer don't have any groceries in that closed canopy forest. So opening up the canopy and doing TSI, timber stand improvement, or using prescribed fire to set back the existing vegetation to an earlier state, a young tender state where it's more nutritious and more desirable to deer, can make a big impact on the deer's health on an individual property.
Growing Deer is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Also by Green Cover Food Plots, Winchester, Lacrosse Footwear, Moultrie Mobile, Fleet Outdoor Apparel, Morel Targets, RTP Outdoors, Fourth Arrow, Hunt Stand, Scorpion Venom Archery, Case IH Tractors, Ward Laboratories, Burris Optics, National Land Realty, G5 Broadheads, Prime Bows, and Redneck Hunting Blinds.
It's about impossible to get an actual count of the deer. So we go by indexes. Do I have more deer this year than last year? Or maybe I have less deer. I had a big EHD outbreak or something like that. So people ask me all the time, I just get there, I drive up in driveway, we meet. Hey, how many deer you think we got per square mile or on this property? I don't know. But a short walk through the habitat, and I can easily say you have more deer than you have quality groceries, or you can allow this deer herd to expand. Man, look at all these quality groceries that's not even browsed on. You don't want to hunt on a property that has way more deer than quality food, because no deer is going to express its full potential. You may see some good deer, but they're not expressing as much of their potential as they could because they're short of groceries. We'll be sharing a lot of detail about these techniques and how we evaluate properties in the coming weeks. So I hope you stay tuned. If you like this type of information, please subscribe, hit that notification button. And of course, the best thing you can do to help the Growing Deer team is share a link to our videos with someone else. Introduce them to Growing Deer. Hope you have a chance to get outside and enjoy creation, whether you're working on habitat work or just taking a walk with your family. Enjoying creation has been shown time and time again to improve the health of folks. Get away from that TV and that phone, just get outside and enjoy it. But more importantly than that, and one of the best things you can do for your overall health, mental, physical, and spiritual, is of course seek the Creator's will for your life and follow Him daily. Thanks for watching Growing Deer.